chairs on the deck.
Yeah, exactly what they did. So let's see here. Let me click back here. Excuse me. I've been like a chicken with my head cut off today.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull together details for NAB. So
Yeah.
my day's been all about.
Oh, I saw some of that.
Yeah.
All right. We can talk about it here.
Welcome to the New Media Show, where each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, UTC +4, Todd Cochrane and Rob Greenlee take their over 30 combined years of leadership in the podcasting space to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct the current podcasting news, forecasts, trends, and predictions. Now here are your hosts, Academy of Podcasting Hall of Famers, Todd Cochrane and Rob Greenlee.
Here we are, Rob. It's almost time for NAB.
Yes. T-minus a couple days here.
Yeah, I'm actually, for some reason, I booked my flight for tomorrow. I don't know why.
Getting a little early then.
Well, I guess I'll spend Friday in Vegas relaxing, and then Saturday set the booth up and rock and roll Sunday. So, holy cow, we've got some things going on, and you've been busy. I see, working to get guests into our live events.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, live to tape. It's not live streamed.
Yeah, it's not going to be live streamed but every person I've talked to about our sessions, that's the thing. You guys got 2 recording sessions for 90 minutes. I said that's never done.
Right. So that is makes me go, Why did we get 2 hour-and-a-halves on this very, very nice big stage?
Right. Maybe they were having a hard time filling slots. I don't know.
It sounds to me like an opportunity. It is at hand. So, so people are surprised we got 2 90s, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
I'm surprised we got 2
me too. That's like usually 130, on some sub page,
40
one sub stage out in the back 40 somewhere,
Right, exactly. Out on the show floor somewhere.
Right in some back corner.
South Hall, right.
No one's at South Hall this year.
That's true.
Central, North, and West.
Right.
And I was actually looking at the booth layouts around. It's going to be weird. We're around a bunch of hardware people. I'm like, come on. Now, the only good thing is Media Creek is right next to us.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then you guys are right across from Media Creek. So there's kind of 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Media Creek is a programmatic ad insertion platform.
Right.
So Live 365. So we might get a little traffic because of them, but they're only in a 10 by 10. So
it'll be our own little podcast pavilion there of 3 booths.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I'm curious on the numbers because let's just be fair here. How do we get 3 hours? Come on.
I'm looking at gift horse in the mouth.
I'm not, but our major.
I'm kind of concerned about, can we keep it interesting for 90 minutes? That's the question.
Yeah, and I guess I'm sure we can because you and I can do that, but and we may have to repeat some content on day 2. So maybe what we'll do is give everyone 3 hours of content. We'll group these together or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, 90 minutes is a long time to go with a panel. And
right. Well, it's probably a little easier with a panel because at least you're spreading the burden of talking over more people.
Right. And you'll have plenty of time. So, I guess I was looking at, are you ready to even talk about our guests that are going to be?
Yeah, I can talk about our guests. They're all pretty much locked in.
Yeah. So
and then also, I don't have a list of my topics for each session yet. I was going to pull that together like in the next day or so. So,
all right.
so we have an outline
of
what we're going to cover.
So Sunday, April 24th, 3 to 4:30 Pacific, we've got 2 guests.
Yep.
Dan Franks is going to join us.
Yep.
And
Podcast Movement.
Yep.
Right.
And Dan Rayburn, streaming media expert analyst, chairman of NAB Streaming Summit, which is interesting.
Yeah. I've known Dan for many, many years. Actually, I did a podcast with him, a streaming show back in the early 2000s. So I've known Dan for a long time.
So do you think what's going to be the focus of this Sunday? What are we talking about on Sunday?
Oh, Sunday is the podcasting market, content and distribution.
Content distribution. Okay. So we'll have a little fun with Spotify on that one.
Mm-hmm. And Dan is also, he's a podcaster as well.
Oh, okay.
But he's been, he's recognized as kind of like the spokesperson for the streaming media industry.
Oh.
So as you think about the convergence that's going on right now between streaming, YouTube, podcasting, all that stuff. So he's going to talk about that stuff.
So the next one that we're doing is on Tuesday, April 26th. It's from 3 to 4:30 Pacific. And we're going to have Christina Rubinio, GM of Offline Practice at Right Side Up. So tell me about her.
Yeah, she's doing a session, and she did a session also at Podcast Movement in LA, all about podcasting, advertising, and programmatic. So she's got a perspective. That's the person that was that I came out of the session saying that I was going to have her on the show at some point talking about the podcast advertising market. That's an ad buying agency, Right Side Up, that work with a lot of the big brands and things like that buying into podcasts. So she's got a very strong opinion about where programmatic fits and how host reads fit, and how the market is adjusting. And then in addition to that, we're going to have Larry Rosen, who's the president of Edison Research, is going to join us. He's Tom Webster's, I think, boss, I guess. I don't know if that's true, but I think it is.
Yeah, and I think I've met Larry a couple of times.
Yeah, I've met Larry a few times at events. Right.
So are you trying to add any more? Or does this look like this is going to be the lineup?
I could. I think I'm not sure. I have to talk to the NAB folks to find out if they have a limit, say, like 4 people or 5 people or something like that, of how many people they can accommodate with microphones.
Right.
So that would be the only other question. I didn't get beyond 4.
Yeah.
Though I would say most events like this can probably maybe support 5.
Yeah.
So,
and being that we're going to go 90 minutes, so
yeah, I mean, if you have any ideas, Todd,
and be honest with you, it's for me. It's like a lot of the folks see. It's kind of odd. Well, it shouldn't be odd. People should know this already. Since I've been doing live streaming for so many years,
right?
When I would go to NAB, it would be to scope out New Tech, Wirecast, Live View, all these companies that do live streaming, and then I would go for the pure New Tech, CG. I would go and geek out, and then we decided as a company to start exhibiting there, and that really limited my floor time. So, matter of fact, I've mapped out 6 or 7 vendors that I'm going to go see, that I'll probably leave the booth for a couple hours and run around and hit those folks and get the latest. For me, it's not just a exhibiting show. I like to be there to hobnob with, people that I've known for years, that, they bring me into VIP and set me down in front of gear that no one else has seen before. So,
yeah, I mean, because you did that for CES, and you've done it for NAB for years. So,
and in fact, we used to do NAB Live. We used to do, our own version of Live that was coordinated by one of my co-hosts of another show that is a partner of mine. He would organize it, and then I would just show up and be talent, and we would do typically about 2 hours a day. And generally, it was really, we did it before everyone else thought it was cool to do. We'd do it in a booth. Some booth that had enough bandwidth to support it, and we'd get a little corner, a little table, and squinch in, and it was really not high end production, but it was bam, 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 bam every 10 minutes a new guest. Our same thing as our format is CES, but I haven't been able to do that for years, and Don isn't going this year, and he had done that for a while. But and this is one thing podcasters should start thinking about is, you and I go to CES to collect content for my show, my personal show. I used to go to NAB to collect content for my personal show and also what I do in the podcasting space, blah, blah, blah. But podcasters need to really start going to events where their core audience is. For CES, that was, and we've talked about it many times. That's the gift that just keeps on giving as far as content goes.
Right.
And I haven't been able to exploit it as much as I used to because I'm running a company. It's gotten kind of big, so we're busy. So I think NAB is going to be. We'll see. Have you got your stuff done with have you submitted your vaccine card and got your QR code and all that?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm all set on that.
Yeah, me too. So. It's going to be different. And hey, guess what? We don't have to wear on airplanes.
No more masks.
No mask on the airplane.
Right.
So I'm be curious to see how many.
Definitely looking forward to that.
I'm curious to see how many people are still masked up. I bet it'll be a lot.
Yeah, I'd say probably maybe a quarter of the people will probably still wear masks at least.
Yeah. But I've got them in my bag just in case.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely bringing some with me, no question.
Because you just don't know. They'll lock and flip in a minute, and we'd be right back in it.
That's right. Yeah, are you thinking about maybe trying to pull in a hardware vendor or something here that can add to the conversation?
Hadn't thought about that. It doesn't. I don't. I'll think about that for a second because. The likelihood it'd either be StreamYard is made. I wonder if StreamYard's going to be at NAB. They almost have to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best session for that would be probably the Sunday session with the topic around streaming and things like that. Might be a good one if you want to bring in like maybe a streaming vendor or something.
Yeah, so I'm going to look here. NAB show. It's kind of hard. It's hard to find the exhibitors.
Yeah.
You have to go into. I hate their website because you just can't go to the website and search. Here we go. View schedule. View exhibitors. All right, now let's go and look for StreamYard. They're not going to be there. Let's look for who's another one. All these companies that I think should be there are not. That's the thing that's weird to me.
Yeah, I think it's only going to be a show about half the size of its normal size.
That doesn't spell good news for NAB.
Well, I mean, I think you have to come back somehow, and I think even because I think I've heard that they're expecting around 60,000.
Oh, that's about half. But 60,000 is better than 60,000 about what CES did, maybe, with exhibitors included. Now, if it's here's the thing. If it's 60,000 exhibitors included, we're going to be pretty slow.
Right.
Yeah, because exhibitors will make up 10, 12, 15,000 alone.
Well, who knows? I mean, with the mask mandates coming down and stuff like that, there may be a lot of last minute people fly into town too. Who knows?
Now, one thing I can tell you is I got to thinking maybe I'll rent a car for a couple of days. There's no cars to be had. It's too late.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you can't even get one. No.
And I've got one of those deals where you can do you can rent one off the street or whatever it is. You can get one that way. And I mean, like, I was pretty shocked. I've never not been able to get a rental car in Vegas. And I was just looking here. I'm trying I know who I can probably get one from. It's Thrifty has vehicles. But holy smokes. Holy smokes. No. Not $500 for a
I've
smash
faced
can
that
card.
before.
No.
I've faced that before. Right.
That's insane.
those rental car companies are ruthless, man.
Well, it's if you book ahead of time, you're fine. But the day before, that's dumb. So the cheap one, the company I don't like renting from. Let me look at and see if they have them. And let's go to this date at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'm just going to Uber it.
But Uber is a little crazy right now too. So yeah, the company I don't like renting from is SIXT, and they have vehicles available for $40 a day, $421 for a week. That's a Nissan Versa.
That's not bad.
Not bad, but normally you can get a rental car in Vegas for a week, small like that, like $250.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for NAB. Actually being at an event, even though it's kind of a half thing, half full kind of event. It does set the stage, and that may explain why we have the opportunities that we have at the event too, that we wouldn't normally have. I mean, I usually do a lot at NAB, and I know you have too in the past.
Yeah.
And this is just a continuation of that. I'm doing another session as well, that's going on, where I'm talking about podcast advertising market. Right. So it's the sip and speak kind of session that's going on.
Here's the thing to also understand is that being there and waving the flag sometimes involves opportunities. That's why at CES last year, because we were there and not so many other folks were there, even though we didn't get as much value out of the event, opportunities open up, and they don't forget. They don't forget that you were there and covered when they were, okay, so will we get an hour and a half, 2 days next year? Probably not. But precedent's been set as we show up, we come, we're there, and we support them. And we contribute in a significant way. Right. And that's what podcasters have to understand. It's sometimes half the thing is showing up and then delivering value, not a pitch, delivering value to the show event. Right. And you're not just filling time. We've got some high stature people that are going to be coming on and, getting an hour and a half of Mr. Rosen's time. Right. It's huge. They're there to make money, and every hour that they're there is usually booked. Well, so
same with Dan Franks.
That's
and
right.
Dan Rayburn.
Yeah.
It's both those guys are highly sought after.
Because it's not just, it's the 15 minutes before and it's the 15 minutes after. So it's really a 2-hour commit to be there. And, the time to walk over or wherever they may be. And so, I think that I've learned over the years is that when we've done live events, and like the CEA comes back and said, we want the president of CEA to be on. I said, absolutely. What time would he like to come? And I won't make him fit my schedule. I fit his schedule. And if there's a vendor that's in his slot, they get moved, so it's, you have to take care of those that are taking care of you. And for me at that event, they give me free bandwidth. They give me security. They give me a room to stack the gear. They have food, water, coffee, snacks. It's big. It's it's $10,000 or $15,000 in real world value that they give you for free. And for us, we feel we have to go deliver for that value they've given us. And the same thing, and I've seen groups that have, they say, oh, we're going to be there every day of the week. And they come in and do 1 hour in one day. And that whole room is wasted for an opportunity for a content creator to have come in and done something. So, so this can be replicated at any event. Now, probably the one that's hardest is to get into like the gaming events, the gaming trade shows. Right. But other stuff, you just half the battle showing up. Say, I'm bringing a camera. Give me credentials.
Yeah.
And, you and I could get press credentials if we wanted based upon our show, but we're there with exhibitor credentials. We don't need press credentials.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Sometimes I've had 2 badges.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I've had 3. So yeah, depends on how many different. Because I mean, especially at like a show like NAB or CES, there can be like all these different sub events going on too. I mean, I've spoken at like 2 or 3 different sub events,
off-site
at these
events.
big events. Right. And each one of them has their own badge, but yeah, it's.
And I've also done. I've gotten to the point now where. Like I had an email come through the other day. We would like to meet you off site. I'm like, no, you come to the show. You come to see me. I'm not coming in and I'm the exhibitor. I'm not coming to you. Right. No, you have something to sell me. You come see me. I'm not. You send me a limo.
Right, send me a limo.
And sushi in the car on the way over.
Wow, that's asking a lot. Yeah.
You want me to go off site? You're trying to sell me? Then have a guy up there that comes get me, has a sign that says, Mr. Cochrane, come with me. It's
wine and dine me.
If you want. I'm like, no, come to the booth. And the response was, we don't have an on-site presence. We have an off-site presence. I'm like, well, that's so post-COVID.
Right.
Sorry, you you rolled the dice and you rolled wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, this is just the beginning of an onslaught of events coming up.
Yeah, and I get back from this, and then I immediately of course, are you going out to Outlier too?
No, I'm not going to Outlier.
So I would
have liked to have, but it's not on my list.
So I'm going to, Outlier, then, back for another week, and then turn around in the ATD, then back for 4 days, and then back to Podfest. And of course, you're going out to Stockholm or someplace like that, right?
I'm going to Malmo, Sweden for Radio Days Europe. And then going from there to the podcast show in London.
So, Rob, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't comment. Saw that little SEC announcement this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For reasons I cannot say, right?
Right.
I'm sure it's been an exciting couple of days over at Libsyn.
Things are happening for a reason, so things will work out okay in the end.
I'm sure they will, but your accountant is under just a little teeny bit of pressure.
Right. Well, it's not just the accountant. Yeah.
Because stockholders might be a little antsy right now.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. It'll all work out. It'll all be okay.
Oh, nice comment. Smooth. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's not a fire in your back of your room there. I don't see, I'm
not throwing any pails of water over my shoulder, so I'm good.
Oh, so you're good. You're not bailing out, right? Scooping and bailing?
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
the podcast episodes will continue to flow through the system. So right. So we're all good
it's not like you're out of money. It's just a little bit of a big accounting issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not going to say small because I think it's kind of big at this point.
I'm not going to comment on the scale or size myself.
No, you can't. I can though, because I'm not constrained by SEC rules.
Right. Yeah.
Because comments I make can't hurt me or you, but comments you make can hurt you and you.
Yes.
Yeah. Forward-leaning comments can be. Yeah.
That's right. I'm not in a place where I can do things like Elon Musk can. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just a big fan of Elon right now. I'm just I'm snickering. I told you last week my satellite dish got approved. And it'll be here Friday. So I'll have to wait till I get back to play with it.
Terrific.
So yeah, fantastic. Actually, we'll be able to potentially do a show from the loft, and I'm starting to think about maybe putting a studio in the loft.
Oh, is that in your other place?
Yeah, it's in the at the compound, in the country compound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, you could do a show from there.
Yeah, we could. Right. So it's a consideration. It's nothing that I have to do right now, but and technically I could move operations, but I don't even want to really think about it right now. It's that's a distraction I don't need. But if the broadband holds up, if it does what it says it does without it quitting, that's the scary part is. And maybe in another year they'll be much higher, because it'll drop out once in a while, and dropping out while you're live streaming is a death sentence.
Sure.
So we'll see. But I'm excited at least to have broadband at house where I could actually work from the house and not want to throw my computer through a window.
Right.
Because it literally is very, computers, it's kind of interesting. I believe my computer doesn't run as fast as it is. People are going to say you're crazy, but I've got an iMac at the house and it just seems slower because everything I do just seems like it takes much longer.
Yeah.
So we're so web dependent at this point. It's crazy. But lots of news going on with Spotify. Boy, they love to make announcements, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They love making announcements, but the fall through is a little bit sometimes not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't want to beat them up too bad here, but it's not exactly a good look for them.
No. And here's another thing too is someone else got the message on their spamming. They didn't say they're going to stop, but they did make a comment finally.
Are you talking about Acast? You talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about Acast.
Acast, right? Which is another topic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
there's nothing new about the spam stuff. Acast is just another one in a line of, times that kind of stuff's happened in the podcasting space over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it is. I would like to make a bunch of announcements and then not follow through too.
Back to Spotify, right?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to say yes. We're going to give every podcaster that's hosting with Blueberry $1 million.
Right, that'd be awesome. Spin up the medium and drive a lot of excitement around your stock and
what's
all sorts of stuff.
No stock with us, but it's
right.
Internal value, and have a whole bunch of people move over because we're going to give them $1 million.
Right.
Every podcaster is going to get $1 million in a Rolex watch, and we're going to deliver a Range Rover to their to their home, and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit what happened back in June of 2021. Thanks to James Cridlin for digging into this in Pod News, but the Spotify Green Room Creators Fund.
Mm-hmm.
It's like been around for almost a year now, and they haven't done anything around funding any podcasts.
Had they actually awarded any?
No, not at all.
Oh.
And they sent out an email announcing that the program had been canceled.
Wow.
So, how does that happen? I don't understand that.
What happens is they bite off more than they can chew.
Yeah, or is it just all about the announcement, and the fall through is not as important? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Here's the thing. If I did that, if I announced that we're going to give $100,000 we're going to put $100,000 in podcasters' pockets. Let's say we're going to give it to 10 podcasters. If I made that announcement.
Right.
And made that public and then never did it, we would be crucified.
Right.
We would be, Our reputation would be tarnished. No one would believe anything we ever said. We would get brutalized.
Right. And to some degree, that's what's happening to Spotify. They're getting called out.
They're getting called out, but no repercussion.
Right. Well, yeah.
It's all about those false forward statements.
Mm-hmm.
And sounds to me like they're making false forward statements.
Yeah.
There has to be. I don't know. People are going to say, "Oh, okay, yep. You've tricked me once, ha ha ha. Tricked me twice. That's So I think that podcasters are going to be more leary of
working with them.
Right.
Generally.
I would think so. But
And
maybe
also,
not. Podcasters are blind. 90% of podcasters have no clue.
Yeah, because they're not paying attention to these things.
Right.
So, and there's been podcasts that have been announced that have never happened, or maybe only one episode or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, big kind of marquee podcasts to get everybody excited. There's a lot of excitement around this stuff. But not a lot of stuff that's really going on. And then the other thing that came out too is, I guess, Spotify has quietly rolled out a new misinformation policy that says it may hide shows or, in their words, restrict content discoverability based on, their policy around misinformation.
I've got a spreadsheet that is pretty. I can't share it without getting in trouble, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a spreadsheet full of shows that have been taken off their platform.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any kind of list like that with any other vendor. So they've been censoring and deplatforming shows for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's normally been around copyright infringement, but it looks like this is kind of going to another level.
Mm-hmm.
What is that misinformation policy? Is that publicly available? Not unlike what a terms of service is, or is this kind of like a
well,
kind of a private policy?
I'll just say this, and it's been going on for a long time. You mentioned Rona in your episode title. Mm-hmm. You can almost be guaranteed that will not stand on that platform. It will more than likely be removed. Show may not be, but
right.
As I've gotten lots of notifications of specific, I only get notifications when a show is taken down. I don't get notifications when an episode has been taken down, but we'll often get questions from content creators say, "Hey, how come my episode is missing off of Spotify?" And we'll look at the title on it and we'll say, "Well, probably because of this."
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, podcasters need to be leery of platforms that are playing games like this. Do you want to get wrapped up with a partner that you don't know if they're going to fall through on their promises? I think it raises those questions. I mean, it's a credibility thing.
And we've got, even there's a lot of misinformation out there. We have a social media campaign going on now with an influencer. And I was reviewing the slides today, and he had a number on his slide. I'm like, whoa, that number's wrong. And we had him update the numbers because it was wrong. And I'm like, where did you get that? And some outlet that had said that, Spotify had this huge advantage over Apple Podcast in followers and subscribers and, breakdown of audiences. I'm like, hold up, that was not right. Don't put that on our campaign.
Right.
So, yeah, I think there's a lot of information out there that is causing content creators to have assumptions that are wrong.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of motivations out there now to, once the economics start to get to a certain level, there's a lot of motivations for people to do things to get more attention or do things to sway people to their platform. And, sometimes the ethics kind of go out the window on that path. It's unfortunate to see it happen, but I guess the podcasting medium has weathered this before. This is not something that has never happened before.
Right.
You and I have both seen it multiple times.
And
right.
that article that Tom Webster put out last week about NFTs.
Yeah.
Here's my thought about NFTs. If you're stupid enough to spend over $3 million for the first tweet of Jack Dorsey on Twitter and get an NFT for it, you deserve to be burned. Because that's just, it's absolute insanity. Now, okay, someone wants to own, it's from a nostalgia, because it's a token. It's not even, it's nothing you can hold. It's not like a piece of art.
Well, it's like you're buying copyright almost is what you're doing.
Yeah, if if you buy a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, let's use that has intrinsic, at least in the eye of the beholder. I'm not an art fan, so I might pay $10 for one, right? Some people might pay $1 million for one. For me, that art is like, again, it might be worth $10, but some people think it's worth $1 million. So the same thing on the NFTs. I personally thought that tweet, maybe, the NFT token would probably be, maybe $400 or $500. Instead, this dude spent $3 million for it, and then he tries to sell it, and he gets the highest bid is $2,700. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I mean, if you think about big picture, NFT is really just another methodology of tracking kind of commerce transactions around digital assets. So
yeah, I know.
It's I think it's a little bit of a perverted market right now.
So
just because it's something seen as something new and unique.
I can screenshot Tom Dorsey's first tweet.
Right.
I can print it, and I can put it in a really nice. I put it in a frame, put gold leaf around it,
But doesn't Jack Dorsey still own that?
But I can still take a screenshot of, yes, he does, but I can still take a screenshot of that and put it on my wall here as a how should we say it? The crypto guys are getting pissed. I could see this as put it on the altar of Twitter.
Right.
And who's going to stop me? It's like you own the copyright. I can't go out, probably cannot go out and sell that. I can't mass produce it and put it on Amazon for, probably I could sell the frame and then just include the piece of paper with the print and probably be legal. Right.
Right.
The gold leaf. I'm being stupid here, but it's.
Yeah. Well, where's that line drawn, right? Between the physical representation and ownership.
Right.
I don't know.
To me, it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh, my trophy has shipped.
Oh, so you're going to have your trophy.
When's it going to get here? Friday, when I'm gone in Vegas. So, yeah, very good. They were fast.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know. This NFT thing is just a little weird to me. I did like Tom's article. It made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting observation that he had too. I think he sees the the unique aspects of it, and how I think we're plowing kind of new ground when it comes to blockchain and crypto transactions and things like that. And I think it's still a big question how this is going to play out. I know that the governments are wanting to get into crypto too.
Yeah, they do.
But I think they're wanting to get into it for different reasons than the existence of Bitcoin.
Very simple.
Right.
The tax man cometh, and the tax man taketh away.
They want to track every dollar, every transaction.
Every dollar.
Right. That's the difference, because Bitcoin, you really can't track it.
Speaking of the tax man, I'm always a procrastinator. My taxes went to the accountant early last week, and Saturday morning while I was doing some things, I got the text and told me how much my payment was on Monday, and I damn near fell out of my chair.
It's tax extensions for me.
Tax went up. Of course, I had one son turn 18, so that hurt me.
The deductions.
And everyone I'm talking to, their tax went up.
The deductions, I'm sure, is what got you.
I'm sure. The fewer deductions.
Right.
And my tax bracket didn't change a bit.
Right.
But I was like, you have got... So I had to make changes. I went into our accounting system Sunday and started having extra money withdrawn out of my...
Withheld,
because I'm not...
not covering it.
I had to scrape one of the accounts bottom of the barrel to get enough money to send to the IRS. And it was not, I'm not kidding you, it was a big number.
Wow.
And it was last year I was expecting this much.
Right.
And I think, this year I paid enough in, I'm ahead. And I was expecting like a third of what it was last year. It was double.
Wow.
Double what it was. I said, what the? So now I got it. And I've sheltered as much as I can, and my God.
Gotta cover all that, stimulus,
So if anybody wants to donate to the show, now's a great time.
Now is a great time.
It's like, of course, everybody's in the same situation. It's like, what do you want to call it? Ramen noodle time for a few weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, did we talk about Facebook last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, but there's this rumor they're pulling back, or I've heard nothing.
Yeah. Ashley Carmen, who's now writing for Bloomberg, she wrote an article talking about, actually, she mentioned this show.
Oh, really?
In the Bloomberg article.
Oh.
As being a show that the Facebook team went on to promote.
Oh, yeah.
The launch of their podcasting initiatives.
Right.
So she's getting the impression that Facebook is waning in their interest in podcasting. There's things going on there, but
why does she think it's a waning?
Well, I think it's their forward progress. I've been involved in conversations with them, and I understand why they probably are hesitating, because they want to do something with it that doesn't really fit with how the market works. So I think they think that they know better than what we all have been doing in the medium for a long time. So there's a little bit of friction on that side that exists, and I think they feel like the opportunity for them may be less than what they had hoped because of that. So kind of monetarily might be the way I could say it.
Right.
So, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on this. It's the same thing with Google too. Who knows what they're, those guys you could say, have gotten a little bit of cold feet too. So, well, this isn't, if I think about my experience working at Microsoft on podcasting, these things, are fleeting.
Mm-hmm. It's whatever someone in the upper echelon thinks is a priority.
Yeah.
And what's making us money.
Right. If something else is more important that gets ahead of it, then the priority drops.
Here's where they made a mistake. I'm sure they were looking for some metric of success, and their implementation was so limited in being that you could only get it on the Facebook app on the phone.
Right.
That, I think, was the limiting factor. If they'd have put it right in the regular news feed, let it be a news post as far as your normal, then I think things would have been a little different. But I'm sure people are just not even seeing it. Because if it takes more than one click to get to something.
Well, and it does on the pages.
Right.
You have to go to the page, and then you have to go into the subcategory podcast on that page, and then it's discoverable. Right.
Right.
So, and then they were wanting to do a little bit of caching. So that was, that's not such a great thing. But.
Yeah. Well, they're not the only ones caching. Spotify's still caching some stuff too. So don't be fooled.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're with a hosting platform that has a pass-through agreement with them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how the standalone hosters, or the ones that are outside of any of the major hosting platforms, that's how they're treated, because nobody's representing them.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, for now, until it changes.
Yep, until someone new in charge kicks a can and says, hey, how come we've missed out on this? So does that indicate then that podcast is waning? Have we entered a new phase of downward trends in podcasting?
Well, I have heard that talked about. Tom Webster raised that topic last week too. He said, have we reached peak podcasting? I think I think there's probably something to think about there.
I don't think we've reached peak.
It depends on what aspect of podcasting.
If we cut out 2 years,
right.
If we just cut out those 2 years, where we saw this like blast off, and then coming back down to normal,
right?
We're still seeing significant number of signups of content creators coming and creating accounts.
Yeah, no, it's not as much as it was, and it's all a matter of weighing that. I mean, in the early days of the pandemic, there was a lot of people coming in, right? But they didn't stick around.
Right.
I'd say most of the new people coming in now are a little more serious about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we have we have, what's a better way to say this?
Well, you did some upgrades to your platform.
Yeah, of course. Right. And that is causing we're seeing, what I was going to say. We're seeing a shift from stand by. We're going to drop the anchor. Hang on one second. Go ahead, drop the anchor.
We're coming into port.
Yep. So we've seen some migrations by podcasters that are, they're graduating. Congratulations! They put on their.
They're pulling up the anchor, Todd. Is that what's happening?
They're flat. They put the plank down to another ship, and they walked across the plank. And they didn't have to.
They didn't fall.
Have to fall in the water. They just walked over to the plank and onto more steady ground that allows them to grow and to flourish. And
that's right. Less chance of them falling through the deck. Right.
So, and not huge numbers, but more than normal.
Right. Yeah.
So that tells me maybe some podcasters are starting to wake up. Now they're still adding lots of content creators. Let's not be fooled here by anything I said. They're still adding a lot of free folks, but we're seeing a lot of folks that are making.
Yeah, I think Tom's perspective was really, I think, came out of the Edison research trends that showed a drop off in total podcast I guess, was it monthly listeners from 2021 to 2022?
Right.
Yeah.
But we knew that was going to happen. So.
Yeah, I think it was a natural adjustment, and like he said, his presentation of the Edison research was that we are at now at a higher level than we were prior to the pandemic. So you could hypothesize that maybe the pandemic timeframe, that 2-year timeframe, was an anomaly, right? That kind of broke from the norm, and now we're coming back to a more normal, slow, steady growth path for podcasting.
So an email just came across my desk literally right now.
Really? From a listener?
That I'm wondering. Podfest, May 26th to 29th. Our flagship in-person live event, Podcast Expo.
I was just on that town hall call.
Where your voice matters. And then along in the same email, our next in-person live event, VidFest Expo, May 26th, 29th, Hilton, Orlando, Florida. A presentation of, what is this?
It's a companion event to Podfest. Yeah.
They say there's 1,500 confirmed attendees that come. I'm confused.
Chris has been doing these companion events. It's the same thing like he did in Tampa the last time he had a.
So are we going to have a Podfest/VidFest name tag on or is these two separate events?
Well, they're two separate events that are probably combined into the same venue.
Well, I hope
that's what he did in Tampa at his last event that he had, where he combined Bitcoin.
Are exhibitors going to be in the same area?
That I don't know for sure on the details on that. No, I don't know.
That would be irritating if he combines exhibitors from both events in one exhibit area.
Yeah, I think, one is more focused on what's happening with YouTube, right?
Well, again, if they're intermixed in the same exhibit hall, right, it lowers my value.
Does it really, you think?
I think so.
Or is there enough cross-pollination between the two? I could see a perspective like that YouTubers could become podcasters, and podcasters could be more YouTubers.
Yeah. It's a little odd. That should be a disclosure that there's a co-event going on. All of a sudden I get an email. It's got two offers in the same email. That makes me go,
Well, it's a strategy on the part of Chris to get more people.
Well, I understand that. But that should be disclosed to...
Yeah. Is it on his website? Let's see.
I don't know.
Let's say Podfest. I don't have a problem with it. From what I saw in Tampa when he did it, is that it was separated. It was like on opposite ends of the venue.
Well, it's definitely not intermixed within the actual. So let me do a Google on VidFest Expo. I don't want to see that. This dramatic pause here. Sorry, everybody.
So have you gotten your room down there and everything?
I have got a...
So our live show at Podfest is going to be on May 27th at noon.
May 27th. That is a Friday. Well, that's a pretty good time.
Yeah. So that's when we're going to do a live new media show from Podfest.
Yeah. Home about speakers, schedule, sponsorship.
So VidFest is going on at the exact same time. Let's see here. No, it's in a different hotel, Todd.
No, it's in the same hotel.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Hilton Orlando. No wonder we can't get a room on the 25th.
I'm not getting there until the 26th.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking for the exhibitors. Yeah, it's a whole full track, separate event. Yeah, and they don't even on the Podfest site, they don't show the exhibitors at all on the Podfest site.
Right. They just show the sponsors. Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's an interesting.
So they don't cross promote the two
Well,
events.
they did in the email I just got.
Right, but not on their website.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So main sponsors for Podfest is Cloud Microphone and Libsyn, and then for VidFest, who's the sponsor for that event? Doesn't show. Oh, you guys are. You guys, and we are. Blueberry's a sponsor of VidFest too. Okay. That's curious.
You didn't realize that, huh?
No, I didn't realize it. All right. It's just a little odd to me.
vidfestexpo.com.
Yeah.
Right? It's on a different domain name.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically the same website.
It's the same website, just with different content on it. You know, you just put.
Speakers.
Yep. I ought to compare speakers.
It does. I mean, it's going on at the same time.
The same exact time. Yeah.
The schedule. So speakers, let's see who the speakers are.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find the schedule.
Looks like Ross Brand is going to be there.
Okay. So I'm looking here.
Michael O'Neill is there.
So that's weird. Oh, look at this. So Podfest Expo, 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, VidFest main stage opens. This is on the Podfest Expo page. On the VidFest Expo, VidFest main stage opens. Okay, 5 to 6 okay, the exhibit hall open. Let's look at Friday. Again, 10 a.m. to 5:40, VidFest main stage, Amazon Live special edition, 10 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. Now let me go back here. It's the same schedule.
Yeah, it's the same, and then it looks like the expo is the same too. Looks like, yeah.
What is this? 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All Podfest tracks open, but the keynote stuff is all in the same place.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. I think he's blending them together.
Oh, it's obvious.
Oh yeah, it says here. Yeah, yeah.
It's almost the same exact.
It says Friday, May 27th. Welcome all VidFest and Podfest attendees.
10
it all follows the same.
10 to 12 after 10 to 12 a.m. is the after party. Open to the first 300. It's the same schedule.
Yeah, it is. It's probably experiential hall open. What is that? Okay.
I'm just.
I guess we'll find out.
So the question is, did he not get enough people from Podcast Expo when he's doing VidFest?
Well, he's trying to get more people to come.
But they should be
right.
Separate events, not like dual track stuff.
Well, he is making separate events here. It's just he's kind of blending them together.
Yeah, everyone's blended together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think he's done this before.
But
I'm not sure this is anything new.
But if you're going to a podcast event, you're going for podcasting. You're not going for video streaming and YouTube.
Well, you might be more and more.
Hmm.
That's the bigger takeaway. Yeah. Yeah.
Exhibit Hall open 5 to 7 on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then what is Exhibit Hall open on Friday? 9:45 a.m. to 5 p.m., 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, and... Oh, are we done on Saturday? I could have flown home on Sunday. Because there's...
What, there's nothing going on?
Well, there's no exhibit hall on Sunday. Well, I guess we didn't expect Sunday. But I didn't fly. I'm not flying back until Monday because it was the 26th to the 29th.
Yeah, I think I'm flying back on the 30th as well.
Yeah, I might look at changing my flight now. Because on Sunday, there's no podcast stuff. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. VidFest beginner audience growth monetization, audience growth, FaithCon, Wildcard Entertainment, and a podcasting 201, so 2 hours. And then there's breakout tracks from 1 to 2:30. So maybe there is stuff.
And then VidFest Expo side of it looks like is doing closing keynotes and gratitude ceremony from
same thing.
2:45 to 4. Right.
Huh.
Oh, well.
Okay. So we're doing it at what time? Friday at noon?
Noon to 1.
It's not on the schedule.
Not yet, but I'm sure it will be.
And we're doing it at the main stage?
Not sure exactly what stage.
All right. Okay.
But it's going to be streamed live. Is what they're working towards.
Gotcha. They're not streaming their event?
I believe they are.
Oh, okay.
So where they're going to put us is on the stage that they're going to be on, one of the stages that they're streaming from.
Yeah.
So I have to pull some guests together for that, which I haven't done yet.
All right. Okay. Well, interesting time.
Yeah.
So, I will reserve judgment until we get back and we report how the traffic was.
All right. Well, I should probably get Chris. I'm trying to think if we have time to get Chris on the show.
Yeah, we should.
Probably after we get done with NAB.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So let me look at the calendar here. The 4th is good.
We have James Boggs coming in on the 4th.
Oh, okay. And then my schedule gets even more crazy than yours is. So here we are talking schedule on the show, but that's what we do here.
Mine's pretty crazy too. So
yeah. So May is going to be ugly, but we'll have to save some of these. Let's see here. May. Where am I at on May 11th? I can do a show on the 4th and the 11th. I cannot do one on, wait a minute, maybe. I can't do one on the 18th.
So let's try and get Chris Kremitzos on for the 11th.
Yeah. So let me double check here. What day do I fly out for ATD? Yeah, I better go to for some reason it's not showing on my schedule. I'll go over to United because I got my airplane tickets booked.
Yeah, I fly out to go to Europe at the end of that week. So,
all right, hang on here. I'm almost done. There we go. Asking me my security questions. They don't recognize this device. All right, my trips. View all trips. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Stupid thing. So, yeah, 14th to the 19th, I'm out. So let me look at the calendar again.
Yeah, I'm out on the 14th as well.
14th and 19th, and then 25th to the 30th. So 14 to 19, 25. So I can do the show on the 4th, 11th, 18th. Cannot do one on the 25th. What day do you go to Spain?
Oh, I'm going to
Portugal?
Sweden.
Sweden. When do you leave for Sweden?
On the 14th.
Okay, so we'll be able to do the 4th and the 11th, but the 18th and 25th, no way.
I mean, unless I can't do anything on the 18th either. I'm flying that day.
Yeah, so 18 and 25. So since we have some stuff left, so probably what we're going to do, here's what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is because there's going to be no show next Wednesday, I might, if we get the creative soon enough, I might be able to put up the first show from our live on the 27th, and then put the second one up on the 18th. So that way we won't miss a week if I get the creative, and then we'll definitely be out for the 25th, but we're going to be doing a live show at podcast. So that works. So we'll be covered. We'll be able to keep people fed here with our nonsense.
Right. Yeah. That's the plan anyway.
Mike said, hey, Todd, remember, we have a bet about Facebook podcasting. Yeah, me saying that they make 1%. That dollar might be in jeopardy. Or is it 10? I can't remember.
Wow. You guys have
a gentleman's bet.
Deep pocket betting going on there.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Well.
I'm sure he'll remind me, too, because he knows exactly what it is. We had a webinar today. We did a Grow Your Podcast webinar, and it was well attended. I was, and it was a lot of Podcast 101 stuff. There's a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things in podcasting right now.
Yeah.
Because we had testimonials from 4 or 5 people, and I'm really impressed at, I guess best way to say it is the diversity in the space and the cool things that's going on.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. I think we knew it, but just hearing some of the things people are doing and them speaking to it was like, wow, good for you. Congratulations. One of those type of things.
Yeah. I think also programmatic advertising is taken off too. I mean, that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the concern now is there a risk of flooding the market with too much programmatic ads? Some people are starting to be worried about that.
No, there's plenty of inventory.
Yeah, I agree. There's plenty of room to grow on that. It's just what's the load inside of any given podcast? Oh,
the key is not to be stupid and run 1 or 2. That's it.
Yeah. Keep it light.
Keep it light. There's plenty of inventory. Just don't be stupid in how much you run.
Don't get greedy.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep your audience in mind. It's not about the advertiser being your only customer.
Yeah. I think that, okay, so do you think then, I thought the load was in host reads, but it's not. If people are worried about ad load and programmatic.
Well, I don't think that it's a problem yet. It could be a problem in some shows where it's pretty easy to turn on a lot of ads.
Yeah.
Programmatic. I mean, you just opt in to, 2 or 3 per break. I think it's up to the platforms to limit that selection. To say, maybe maximum of 2 spots per insertion point might be the maximum. I know some have allowed as many as 3, so maybe that's too many.
I think, you know.
I mean, if you think about it, it could be up to 1 minute a spot. That could be 3 minutes of ads.
Yeah, I think you can do, most shows could do 1 pre-roll, 1 mid, most. You know, I think that, again, I'm my own experience on doing a 70-minute show, two spots.
Right.
You know, before people start getting pissed off and leaving. But maybe the attitude of the listeners changed. I don't know. Or they're just hitting fast forward.
Right. And also, is there something that we can do even with this show as an example to make it more appealing to the YouTube crowd? I mean, is there a way, do you think, Todd, that we could jigger this show to make it more appealing to the YouTube crowd?
Rob, the only way I would do that is to get someone some more attention on YouTube is to sit here naked and do the show. I think that's the only.
Is that what you're stressing?
Yeah, I think that's the only way to, because then it would be like, look at this dude, give caution, if someone's going to throw up in their mouth,
I was just going to say, this is an example of what not to do. Yes.
Right. But that's about the only way I think this show is going to appeal to YouTube, because we're too long. We're too long for YouTube.
That's right. And I don't think we speak fast enough. I don't know if you've ever watched some of the YouTubers out there. They feel like it's a race to the finish line.
Have you listened to some Instagram folks?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, and they're constantly clipping the video too, right? They're
right.
Yep,
flip,
when you hear this, yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, I agree pace is important to a certain degree, but pace can also be fatiguing.
I can flip us back and forth too, just like I'm doing now. I'm just hitting the take button and we're switching back and forth, and someone's, I have to put an epileptic caution on this video now.
Yeah, or the motion that you see in some of these videos, it's really kind of disturbing, where it's almost like it's a phased shift.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a phase shift with the show. But it's effective. Yeah. Look at some of the stuff that we've been putting on the Blueberry Instagram lately, and that is pure Instagram marketing tips.
Right.
So,
yeah. But I have been seeing a lot more long form content on YouTube that seems to be getting good audience.
The thing is, long form YouTube is me watching some guy make build a log cabin or sailing, and
I've seen conversations like ours do really well over there at long form.
No.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, then you're gonna have to go find some.
Well, long is relative. It's probably not 90 minutes. Like this one, but it's probably at least 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah.
Well, so Ted opened up the TED Talk when Elon Musk was on the day after he made the tender offer, and it was part of a larger interview. Well, they showed 10 minutes of him in the Gigafactory in Austin. And then, so I did go listen to the entire 1 hour interview of Elon and the TED Talk guy at the Gigafactory.
Chris Anderson, right.
Right. Yeah. And that was compelling. But why was it compelling? It was compelling because it was Elon Musk. That's why it was compelling. You listen to this guy and you can tell he's got Asperger's for sure, the way his speech pattern is, but and most people don't. I bet you a lot of people don't know that he has Asperger's, but he's brilliant. The man is, he's a walking Albert Einstein. I don't care what anybody says. He has such a depth of knowledge on stuff, and it's dangerous when you know a lot. It's like are you really an expert, or do you have a periphery of the data? And there's some stuff I'm sure he has I think he has a very large grasp. I think he's kind of like, I hate to say it, Bill Gates. is very, very well read. Now, some people hate Bill Gates because, of all the things Bill Gates has been doing, but the guy is well read. Reads 10 books a week. So I'm not saying Elon's doing that, but I don't know. I don't have a love fest for Elon, but I love what he's doing with trying to shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he is able to get some level of control over Twitter.
Ooh.
It might be interesting to see what might happen there.
Oh, we just lost half the audience. But there's a lot of people that are deathly afraid of him coming in and ruining what they consider ruining Twitter. But
is it really ruining Twitter, or as much as it's putting out information they deem as misinformation?
Well, here's what I think, and this is what appeals to me. If you post something and the algorithm downvotes you,
right?
Why? Why did it get downvoted? There should be a reason why it got downvoted.
Yeah.
And if it gets promoted, why did it get promoted? If it got censored, why did it get censored? That just transparency of why. And right. You're never going to get Facebook to do that. But if Twitter did that, and if Twitter made available its code on its, then I'm not going to be able to read it. But there's a lot of geek. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, there's a way for that to happen already, and I'm confused why it's called terms of service, right?
Well, of course. But here's the accusation,
right?
And I know this is true based on a whole bunch of things, and it's not everyone says, "Oh, it's just far right getting." No, it's not. Far right and far left their voices are being driven down.
Yeah.
It's not just the conservatives. The far left and the far right are the ones that are largely ending up in these silos. That is,
it's a power play between both sides. They both want to win.
Right.
So they're willing to. I think what's changed is that both sides are willing to play dirty pool to get there.
So if if the code, if this is being programmatically done,
right,
then let people look at the code and know that. Say this, if you say this is what's going to happen, or why did it happen, or why should it have happened, so people are saying, oh, disinformation. Well, I get real worried when people say this is disinformation because it's your definition of disinformation. We've found already, based upon some history here, that what was labeled as disinformation and would have gotten you
to be
true.
Right.
And if you're going to suppress that, then the truth may never come out. So,
and it raises the question of why it was suppressed to begin with.
And there is why I want Elon Musk to buy Twitter. Yeah. Now, will he be able to make miraculous changes? I don't think so. I think he'll have a significant impact, and I think there'll be more. All we want is transparency, right?
Yeah.
Just give us transparency. Tell us. And then we can vote with our wallets, our time, our voice.
Right.
If we don't feel that it's being fair. Or we can call for change. But he's right that Twitter is a very large public square.
Yeah.
And it runs homes to mama all the time. I follow a lot of people, but I have to physically go look for topics on there that I'm interested in following. Mm-hmm. And it even still then filters the topics.
Right.
So.
And more I hear people even on YouTube say, oh, I can't say that, or I can't say that.
Right.
Also, I'm going to get deplatformed.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God for podcasting and having your own .com and controlling your RSS feed. There is no deplatforming.
Well, it's all a matter of degrees on that. Right?
Well, it's true. Depends on if there's a logos being, placed. Here's the thing. It's about. I bet that's happening. My prediction. Okay. I think Todd thinks, it's Todd's opinion, that's what's happening on Spotify. Todd's opinion, it's not happening on Apple. That there's a logo driving content down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know about Amazon. I would suspect maybe Amazon's not doing the same. I would suspect they're not driving because, frankly, they're less than 1% consumption right now. So they just got to get listens up.
It's true. They're not in a position where they can start taking things down.
No.
Pushing people off the platform. That only is something that you see happen with the biggest platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about Facebook in that regard, right? They're the ones that have done it probably the most.
And there's a lot of worry right now that some companies in the space are going to start implementing an AI solution to do, and this is something the Podcast 2.0 folks are worried about, is that some of these big companies now, like Spotify and others, are going to use AI and is going to hide content that they don't think is valuable.
Well, speaking of another way to transcripts can be used, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, this whole topic of transcripts is a huge topic. It's becoming more impactful all the time.
But yet,
for various parts of the ecosystem.
Right. So we'll see where this leads. And, to be honest with you, I'm more of the opinion here that the listening platforms are the ones that are going to be more or less responsible for mass adoption of transcripts and playback players. The Apples, the Facebooks, the Spotifys, all those folks where mass consumption is Overcast, those big apps are going to have to.
Yeah. Well, they've got to have good access for the disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the primary folks that need to make sure that their ducks are in a row around access.
I don't care about the advertisers. I care about the people that are hearing impaired.
Right.
47 million stuff, 47 million people in the United States with some form of impactment. All the way from, some hearing loss all the way to pure deafness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So there was someone that was following me on Twitter that was asking me about Blueberry's podcast transcript tag for Podcast 2.0, and we had actually implemented it, but we didn't document it, so shame on us. So I had the team go in and update our documentation to make sure people knew it was there. So it's, it's that type of stuff. I don't mind being reactive when we're wrong and fixing something.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
Anyway, we're almost at the end here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Did we irritate you guys today?
I'm not so sure that we were tremendously focused today, Todd.
No, we were all over the place, but that happens sometimes. A little, it wasn't big news week, nothing. There was some stuff, but nothing that really made me, I have a channel in our Slack.
I think the biggest news is just the impending podcasting events and conferences, and I think that's the most impactful thing going on right now.
See, what do I have in the past week in my this is interesting. There was a Twitter thread on transcripts. There was a news about you guys this morning. There was an announcement by another plugin, folks. Those are the three things I have in my list from the past week that I want to continue to track. So, so it's I guess we'll see what happens. I'm excited about NAB. Time will tell. We're going to either come back and be happy, or we're going to be
tired.
Well, we're going to be tired.
It's a whirlwind next 6 weeks. So
yeah,
towards the end of the end of May, through the end of May, and then even into June.
Yeah.
Podstock is another event. If you're up in the Northeast, Todd and I are going to be at Podstock on June 11th. That's in Trenton, New Jersey. So we're both going to be doing that event. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Anything else?
I'm going to I'm making a note here. All right. Okay. So I'm Todd at blueberry.com. And you can find me at Geek News on Twitter.
I can be found on Twitter as well, at Rob Greenlee, and that's with 2 E's. And you can send me an email if you want, robg@libsyn.com. And love to hear from you. And if you happen to be going to Vegas next week to NAB, both of us are going to be there with our booths, so we're going to be fairly easy to find. We're going to be in the West Hall, which is the new hall.
And we need to remind people that there's a party we're going to be at. We're going to be at the Podcast Movement Party. So
it's on the 26th, right?
Yeah, I think I put a link to that in last week's show.
From 7 to 9 p.m.
Yeah, so I will re-link that. And don't forget about
the Nevada bar or something like that.
Yeah. Don't forget about our listener survey. We want you to fill that out. I haven't checked that. That's important for us to find out who you really are. We know who you are. But we just need something for our graphs. But anyway, yeah. And if you want to support this podcast with a $1 million donation, Rob and I could use that to, don't worry, Rob. I'll do the withholding for you before I send you. Before you send your part.
I hate writing that big a check to the IRS, so I want you to do it.
You just gonna have to send your Social Security number over before I get the.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
Before you get your payment, because I'm not paying your taxes. I will pay your taxes to the IRS with your Social Security number.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
Issue you a 1099.
Yes, you may do that. Yes. Wow. Whole new tax bracket for me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You go from 31 to 36 or something like that.
Who knows? Who knows what it is now?
Yeah. And you being single, you really got hammered.
Oh, yeah.
You went up at least 2% in your tax bracket by becoming single.
Why do they penalize single guys versus married guys?
Single people.
Right.
Not just guys, single people.
Single people, right.
Because they assume if you're part of a married couple, both are going to be writing tax checks. So collectively, you're going to send more taxes in. But in the end, it's not always the case.
No, it's not always the case.
No, it's not. So matter of fact, I'm having a discussion with my accountant about all of that right now.
I would imagine.
I'm like, good Lord, help me. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And one thing is for sure, death and taxes. And this government is getting more than their fair share.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So anyway, it's been fun. Yeah. And
we'll quit whining.
I will see you, Todd, and hopefully some of you in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Coming up.
All right.
Soon I get back to the West Coast again, of sorts.
Yeah.
Kind of West Coast.
I'm headed to Detroit as soon as this show's processed, because I have a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's looking like my daughter's going to be in Vegas, too. So
that's cool.
So I'll be able to see her. And
is she going to bring the toddler along?
I don't think so. Not this time. And then my son is back in the U.S. now.
Oh. With his family?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I have to ask, how did he get out? Can you say?
I haven't talked details on that yet with him.
So has he got an immigration battle coming up now?
Oh, to get back in again?
No, to get her to be legally stay here? Or?
Oh, I don't know that they're going to stay here for that long. I think it's just through June.
I got you. Well, hopefully things will cool off by then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just so we don't get picked up by the. I'm glad he's out, to be honest with you, with the craziness that's going on.
Well, and if you don't know what we're talking about, my son has been living in Sochi, Russia, so all on the Black Sea. So he's
Yeah, good place to be out of for right now. So
I guess it's been pretty calm there, I guess.
Well, that's good.
From what I'm hearing.
But does he speak Russian?
No.
Oh.
He teaches English, so, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he got out. Okay. Everyone be safe. We'll see you next time here on the New Media Show. Everyone take care. See you next time.
Okay. Bye.